Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Liverpool finish top of the Champions League phase, the table, as Arsenal, Aston Villa and Manchester City all progress. If you're new to the channel, guys, as ever, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. But let's start with the most important thing, as I'm a Liverpool fan. Let's start with Liverpool. Liverpool are through, and they've managed to, win 7 games in the Champions League. And obviously, I thought they might go 8 out of 8, but a very, very different kind of a lineup for Arne Slot. Like I told you on the previous video, it was a very, very new squad, a lot of young players in there, and we could see the inexperience in that tonight with the performance against PSV. Liverpool were beaten 3-2. But other results around Europe went their way. Barcelona obviously not winning their game allowed Liverpool to finish top of the league. Sorry. Atalanta did Liverpool a favour. So, like, knocking Liverpool out last season. But Liverpool go through, and it was a weird performance because I thought Liverpool started really, really well in the game, and I thought they were quite in control. And obviously, it's one of those where you look at it and go, does it really matter? No, like I said, because Liverpool already through. But you always want to win a game. And you want to see young players play. And I wanted to see the likes of Chiesa play, James McConnell, who I thought was excellent. And even Arne Slot has come out and said that he will not be going out on loan today because that performance was so good that he could be useful for us this season. And this was kind of the game, like I said before, to kind of understand what type of players are going to be doing what. And Arne Slot was able to see that today. Federico Chiesa, who I thought was fabulous, winning a penalty for Cody Gakpo to score. Harvey Elliott again on the score sheet. But all in all, attacking-wise, Liverpool were decent. The performance was okay. Defensively, they were woeful defensively. I thought Robertson and Kwanzaa at centre-backs, you're never going to, get the Van Dijk Konate kind of partnership and balance that we're so used to seeing, especially when you have Robertson, who's not a centre-back playing there, and Joro Kwanzaa, who's had pretty much a quite poor season thus far. So it's always going to be difficult to hold out the attackers of PSV, especially Johan Bakayoko, who scored an absolutely brilliant goal. He basically dropped Robertson and Kwanzaa on the floor and he put it in. He looks a real player. Caused Tsimikas a load of problems. And I know somebody Liverpool have looked at in the past. But all in all, I don't want to be too critical because it's one of those games where with so many changes, it's very, very hard to find rhythm in a team that have 15 new players playing. But all in all, like I said before, it's going to be one of those games where you have to kind of give players minutes, and that was useful. See, Darwin Núñez just pulled out the squad through illness at last minute. Otherwise, he probably would have started. But seeing Dan's, Chiesa, Trey Ione coming on. Nallo unfortunately came on and was sent off. Conor Bradley, who I thought was okay again. And McConnell, who, like I said before, was fabulous. And Arne Slot alluded to the same thing. But yeah, I think finishing top was a priority for Liverpool, and I think I've got the teams that Liverpool can possibly play. So Liverpool in the round of 16 can possibly play Brest, Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain, or Benfica. That is Liverpool's pathway to the round of 16. So whoever goes through between Monaco and Brest and PSG and Benfica, I think they will play each other. Or the draw is going to be made on Friday, but Liverpool play one of those teams in the round of 16 in the Champions League, which is okay. Obviously, you want to avoid Paris Saint-Germain, them being the strongest. Brest, I think Liverpool should be able to deal with that. Same with Monaco and Benfica. But like I said, it's the Champions League. It's no easy game in the Champions League, and it was proven today as well by PSV beating Liverpool, but also proven today by Celtic against Aston Villa. Aston Villa in cruise control against Celtic, 2-0 down, and Celtic come back in. Ada scored two goals to make it 2-2. But one player from Aston Villa who I want to give immense credit to, and he's had a fabulous season, is Morgan Rogers. And Aston Villa have been in the headlines a bit with John Duran obviously moving to El Nassr, Ollie Watkins, and Arsenal put a bid in for Ollie Watkins. But Morgan Rogers today was absolutely fabulous. the power he possesses in his legs, his ability to shoot, shift the ball from left to right with ease. He's good in the air. Everything you want in a modern day box to box midfielder, Morgan Rogers has. He has it all: goals, assists, quality of pass. This is what you want. And scoring a hat trick in the Champions League is fabulous. And obviously, Villa automatically qualify for the round of 16 because they have finished. Aston Villa have finished in the top 8. Of course, they finished in the top 8. I don't know where they finished, but Aston Villa finished 8th exactly. So they just about made it to the round of 16 of the Champions League automatically. And obviously, that win was vital for them. And you look at all the noise around Aston Villa at the moment. Like I said, John Duran's going to El Nassr, Ollie Watkins, who obviously scored today as well. You have to look at Unai Emery, and the job he's done at Villa has been marvellous. This is their first season in the Champions League, and they've gone through automatically, not having to play a playoff. They've finished ahead of likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Atalanta, AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Aston Villa finished ahead of. So you have to just give credit when credit's due, and Villa are doing magnificently, and qualifying automatically is something I wouldn't have thought they would have been able to do. And they've managed to do it, and they've had some good results on the way. Obviously, drawing with Juve at home, they've obviously beat Bayern Munich. They've absolutely thrashed Leipzig as well, who are obviously relegated from the qualification. They don't go through, obviously. But generally speaking, you have to say, Aston Villa's route to the next round is Sporting Lisbon, Club Brugge, Atalanta, or Borussia Dortmund. There's some decent teams in there. You got the Europa League winners. You got Borussia Dortmund as well, who are the Champions League finalists of last season, obviously losing to Real Madrid. Sporting Lisbon's the Portuguese champions, and you got Club Brugge, obviously gave Man City a bit of a hiccup. And on Club Brugge, they played Manchester City at the Etihad today and were very, very decent in the first half. And obviously they went a goal up, and everyone is talking about Manchester City and how they need to win to go through or have any chance of qualifying. And Club Brugge took the lead at the Etihad, and you could hear the nerves. Obviously, I didn't watch the game. I watched the game back, slight parts of it. But as soon as the goal went in for Club Brugge, you could hear the nerves around the Etihad. Like, this is one of the Champions League favourites, City, and them not qualifying for the next round automatic, even through the playoffs, automatically they should be qualifying anyway based on the squad they have. But you look at the squad they have, not getting into the playoffs would have been a real blow to Man City. And obviously they managed to turn it around with 3 second half goals, Kovacic an own goal, and Savinho very, very late on. And obviously City get away with it. And for large periods of the game, especially in the first half, it didn't look very, very likely. But City are through, and City's playoff opponents are quite tricky. And I think that's because of where they finish. So Manchester City they obviously didn't qualify automatically, so they will have to play a playoff. They will play Celtic, Manchester City, and then obviously after that they either play. So if they beat Celtic, Manchester City will then play Real Madrid or Bayern Munich to then progress to the round of 16, where they either play Atletico Madrid or Bayer Leverkusen. So you can see their route to the round of 16 is very, very tricky as well. Playing Celtic, then Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, it will not be easy for Manchester City. And this is the way this league format works, where you finish determines who you play. And obviously Man City finishing quite low, and obviously Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and etc. finishing also quite low balances it out. And obviously City play those teams, and Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen are never going to be too easy opponents for City to play. So I guess we'll see how they do, but it's not an easy route for City. It's definitely the most trickiest out of Villa and Liverpool so far. And for Pep Guardiola, I think it's vital that they get through, because this is probably their only real chance of major silverware this season. And if they really want to go on a run in the Champions League, it needs to start now. Obviously, Rodri comes back. They've got Mamouche and Reece and Kusanov coming in, and I'm sure they're going to bring others in. I've seen some slight links to Cambiasso, the Andrea Cambiasso from Juventus. To get a couple of deals before the deadline next week, it should be decent for Manchester City. But I guess we'll find out very, very soon whether they are able to progress or not. Last but not least, the last English team to automatically qualify, because Liverpool, Villa, and Arsenal all automatically qualified, is Arsenal. Manchester City obviously went through the playoffs. Arsenal today were okay, decent, and I think Girona gave a good kind of, a tussle at it, but obviously quality always comes through, and obviously this is a team Liverpool also played in the Champions League, and it was not easy. Liverpool had to beat them 1-0 with a penalty from Mo Salah to beat them at the Girona Stadium, and obviously Arsenal found themselves 1-0 down. I think Neto, I don't know what he was doing, and he runs out of the box, and Danjuma just puts it over him. And Danjuma, formerly of Everton and Spurs, played in the Premier League and Bournemouth, and we know his quality. He's played at Villarreal. He scored in the Champions League quite a few times. I remember he scored against Bayern Munich a couple of years ago, the year Liverpool made the final in 21-22. So we all know his qualities and what he can do, both in the Premier League and on the European stage. And obviously Arsenal, they can look vulnerable at times. But like I said, they have automatically qualified. They finished third, Arsenal, and they were also comfortable. Ethan Nwaneri looks a real talent. He cuts inside from the right hand side. He bends a beautiful. It looked like Iron Robben. He bends a beautiful left-footed shot into the back of the net, and it reminded me of Iron Robben. It reminded me of Mo Salah. We've seen Bukayo Saka do it, but this is another one for Arsenal that they've come out of Haaland that looks really impressive. A real talent. Obviously, Miles Lewis-Skelly as well is another one that looks fabulous. But obviously, Arsenal get their job done. I don't think you can say much about Arsenal. I think this is probably their last chance at a real silverware in terms of Champions League or Premier League, because obviously the league looks quite far beyond them now. Especially you looking at the points gap, and obviously them coming to Anfield right at the end of the season, and their form at the moment is not particularly the greatest. Some of them dropping City points in the league as well. So this was a big win for Arsenal, and 2-1 coming from behind also shows character. And Arsenal's potential opponents in the round of 16 are Feyenoord, Juventus, AC Milan, or PSV Eindhoven. So again, Arsenal have not got easy. They have got Feyenoord, Arne Slot's old team, who were absolutely battered today. They were taken apart, Feyenoord, by who did I looked at it very briefly, but Feyenoord were absolutely taken apart, and I don't know who they were, but I saw it was 6-1. Yeah, they lost 6-1 to Lille. Lille obviously automatically qualified. Feyenoord were absolutely battered, but Feyenoord is not an easy, not a easy team to play. Juventus, we know their qualities under Thiago Motta and Vlahovic and Kenan Yildiz, to name a few. AC Milan, if you get an away tie there, it's never easy. And PSV Eindhoven, who obviously they beat Liverpool and made it through to the playoffs. And I guess it will be kind of a thing where if Liverpool, Arsenal, and Villa progress further and further in the competition, as do Man City, it could open up a new spot for a fifth team in the Champions League to qualify in terms of England because of the coefficient. So I think that's also very important for English football. But all in all the English teams are through. Some easier than others. Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, all quite dominant in their kind of in the games they've played so far. Liverpool and Arsenal more so than others. Manchester City made it through the playoffs just about, but the English teams are all through. And as an Premier League watching supporter, it's nice to see that there's a lot of our clubs in the competition, and it makes our league stronger, makes more eyes on our Premier League, and more players want to play there for our clubs. And obviously, if I'm looking at it as a Liverpool fan's perspective, I obviously want Arsenal and Aston Villa, Man City to not be in that competition, because I want Liverpool to be the dominant team, which they are, because they finished top of the Champions League and top of the Premier League. But guys, get your comments in below. Who are your Champions League favourites? Is it Liverpool? Is it Arsenal? Is it Aston Villa? Is it Man City? Or is it somebody else? Get your comments in below, guys. But all the English teams are through. Liverpool finished top. It's what they do. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.